Hello guys and welcome to Laravel 7 tutorials. So guys, in the previous video we successfully implemented the awaiting approval blocks functionality for the user dashboard and it is working perfectly fine. And in this video we are going to implement the added block functionality for the user panel. Okay, just remember that we haven't implemented the added block functionality for the user. Reason was because let's say if a user creates his blog and it is approved by the admin, it will move to the front end of the application. And let's say after that a user wants to edit his specific blog which is approved from the admin, he can do whatever he like. Let's say for example he can scam, he can use let's say some uncertain links, or he can let's say upload some naked images or etc. So we have to restrict our user from doing that, and in this case we are going to restrict our user based on the functionality of awaiting approval. Okay, so we are only going to give this added functionality for the user dashboard until the blog is approved by the admin. Okay, so here is the example. We are going to have one more link right here and the link name would be let's say approved blogs. Okay, so once the blog is in a waiting list right here, a user can edit his blog. Okay, he can simply go right here and he will edit his blog. That's it. Now when the admin approves that specific blog, that specific blog will be removed from right here and it will move right here in the approved blog section where a user isn't going to have this added block functionality. So this is how we are going to restrict our user for right now. Okay, so this is going to be the condition. Okay, so let's move forward, and the topic of this video is to implement the added block functionality. So let's do that. First of all, let me click on this edit link. Okay, so right here you can see we are seeing 404. Reason being we are trying to access the admin dashboard related route. Let me show you. Let's move to web.php right here. Let's move down right here, edit block with the ID, and you can see we are checking, and we are not checking, we are basically implementing the middleware to check the role. If the role is admin, what you can do is we are going to give the access of that specific page, but if the user is not admin, he is not going to access the page and he will see a 404 right here. So let's move forward, and in order to implement this added functionality, first of all what we need is we need to create a blade where we are going to edit our blog. So let's create that, and for that I will move to resources, views, user panel. Right here you can see our added block blade. These blades we implemented while we copied everything from right here for the layout of the user panel. Okay, so we copied everything and that specific folder contains added block. That's why we have it right here. But for now, let's say in any case we have made some changes right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to access this backend added block and I'm going to copy everything. I'm going to close that and I'm going to access this user panel added block and I'm going to paste everything right here. That's it. Now let's make some changes from the top. So in this case we don't want to access the backend layout, but in this case we want to access the user panel layout. So let's correct this, user panel layout master. That's it. And blogging added block, the heading, the title is perfectly fine. Let's move forward. Edit blog heading, and right here we need to remove this link. This link is to return to blogs, which is for admin pages. Let me show you. Blogs, add blog, return to blog. So this is the link. Okay, so we don't need it for the user dashboard, so I'm going to remove this. As simple as that. Okay, so this looks fine and everything remains the same. Okay, if we have any change we can change it later. First what we need to do is we need to see this page at least, okay, to make some changes. Okay, so that's it for now. Let's create a route to access this blade, and for that I will move to web.php and we can simply use something similar just like this. So I'm just going to copy this Why? So that we don't like differentiate a route of user panel and the admin panel. The only difference is the user prefix right here. Okay, so I'm going to add user and everything remains the same, and in this case we need to create a method as well. So let's say in this case the method would be added block view user. Okay, now let's move to block controller and let's create this method. So for that I will access block controller. Let's move down, and for this case I can simply use this method and make certain changes. So let's move down. I have copied everything from that specific method and I'm going to paste it right here. Let's make some changes, and also we need to implement some logic right here and right here as well. Okay, let me show you right here. Okay, because I just got one point right here that we haven't implemented the logic right here. I will show you with an example. Let's move forward. For now we need to rename this to added block view user, and we need to change the comment return added block view for user. That's it. Okay, and then we are going to return every category, every tags, like all the tags, all the categories, and then we are going to find the block and then return the view. And in this case the view name is user panel dot added block. So in this case our added block is in the user panel directory. Okay, so everything remains the same and everything looks fine, but one last change, that is we need to change this anchor link as well to our new route which we just implemented. So for that I will move to public backend partials and user awaiting.js, and let's change it right here. That's it. Now we should be able to see our new added block page that is related to user dashboard. So let's click on this edit, and now we are able to see a new blade right here. Okay, so this is going to be the for the user to edit his or her own blocks. Okay, so one more change we don't want it right here. So I'm just going to access edit block blade and I'm going to comment this out. Okay, just one more thing that I want to tell you right here is, guys, if we wanted, we can simply use a single blade from right here or from the backend folder. First let me close this. We could have used this single blade right here. Okay, and based on the condition, let's say if a logged in user is admin, you need to show this div, and if let's say if a logged in user is a normal user, you don't need to show this. Okay, so simple condition, if logged in user or the session user is admin, you need to show this div right here. If not, do nothing. That's it. So we could have done this using a simple logic, but why are we implementing a new separate page? Just because of you guys. Let's say you are working in a live environment, or let's say you are working on a client website where you have a different dashboard for a user panel and the admin panel. So in that case, you need to implement the separate layout for both the dashboard pages. Okay, so in order to comply this strategy, I am implementing this separately so that I can give you as much as you want. Like I can explain every bit of code that you may encounter an issue with. So that's why I'm creating different pages. I'm assuming, and right here let's say we have a different dashboard for the admin and for the admin, but in this case we have the same pages. But just for the assumption that you can get the idea, we have a separate dashboard for admin and the user. Okay, so that's why we are doing whole lot of this, like creating new pages, etc. Okay, and I'm showing you how can you use the same method with different route as well. So this is the purpose of creating this, implementing these blades separately. Okay, so we can keep our code separately, and let's say whenever you want to make any changes, you can. Okay, so that's it. and now we have commented this out. Let's do a refresh, and now this seems like a user dashboard edit page. Okay, it's perfectly fine. Now what we need to do is, let's say if I'm going to submit this form, what we need to do is we need to hit a specific method. And in this case right here on the form submission, first of all it's a Laravel post request submission, so we are hitting this blog update route. Let me show you once again. This route is restricted only for the admin right here, so we need to create a new route in order to hit this specific method. In this case we are going to use same method once again. For this purpose right here, for the view, the views were different, that's why we are using different methods. But as I just told you that we can simply use the same blade as well with the help of condition, but right here we are assuming we are having, let's say, two separate dashboard. Okay, so just keep along and let's move forward. So for that I'm going to copy this once again so we can redirect our submission as well. So right here I'm going to add a prefix that would be user underscore, sorry, not underscore, user slash blog update, and we are going to hit the update method again. Let's move forward. So right here let's make some changes here, user slash blog update. So now everything looks fine. Now what we can do is simply do a refresh, and now let's try to submit this form. And in order to check the condition if it is working perfectly fine or we are even able to hit our method or not, let's just do a DD here. Okay, let's do a refresh. Let's try to click this update. Okay, so we are successfully hitting our method. So right here everything is working perfectly fine. Let's remove that. Now when we are here, we are going to find a specific blog which has specific ID. Once we are done, we are going to implement the validation using validate blog for update. And for that, basically for the validation, we are hitting this method. If request has image, what you need to do is implement this validation. If not, you need to implement this validation. And return request, everything is back right here once the validation is done. Now we are going to check or create the active based on the request active that we got. So in this case I know it is going to be 0, but just to show you so that you are not confused related to this active, I'm just going to DD it for you. So let's do a refresh. And right here you can see it's 0. So everything is working perfectly fine because we are in the user dashboard side. Just remember that. Okay guys. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, and then we are storing our image of that specific blog that we found right here earlier in this specific method. Let's move forward. If request has image, what you need to do is remove the old image, delete the old image using this specific method which exists right here in this controller. Okay, and then what you need to do is basically we are creating an image, and then we are saving that image in the folder structure, and then we are saving our updated data right here with the help of blog save, and we are saving, or let's say updating our records using many-to-many relationship right here with the help of sync, and then we are redirecting back. So right here everything looks perfectly fine. So let's try to update our record. Now let's do a refresh. Okay, so let's say test 1 2 3, and let's say 1 2 3, let's say. Okay, update. Okay, so success, blog updated successfully. Right here you can see the change right here. Let's move to awaiting approval so we can see the changes right here as well. And yes, everything is working perfectly fine. Now let's try to edit it, let's say with the help of categories and tags as well. Learn Laravel, and let's add some tags. Okay, and let's say something test 1 2 3 and update. Okay, so blog updated successfully, and right here you can see it is okay. So yeah, everything is working perfectly fine. Now we have successfully implemented our edit block functionality for the user. When a user is going to log in, he will be able to see his or her own awaiting approval blocks right here. And let's say if in this case, because the blog is not approved yet, he can edit his blog. He or she can simply go to edit link, and that's it right here. Okay, now the thing that I was talking about, that we need to implement some logic right here. Let me show you with an example. We are logged in right here with the help of a user account, basically okay, not you. I'm not sure about you, but right here on the Firefox I'm using my admin account, and right here I'm using my user account. So I am logged in with the help of user credentials right here, and let's say if I want to access any other blog that is not related to me, so user ID, okay, so these two blogs are related to user, and let's try to access this 8 which is not related to me. Okay, first of all, let's try to manipulate it, because we don't have any record after 12. So let's try to access 101, let's say, enter, and right here the page is crashed. Reason being, guys, any guesses? Okay, let me just tell you. So when we are finding right here in this specific method using a route, we are finding all the categories, we are finding all the tags, and we are unable to find the specific blog because someone just manipulated the record right here, which even doesn't exist in the database. So once we are not able to find the blog, we are returning the view, and then we move to right here on this page. After that, we are trying to print all the categories right here, and in this case we don't have $blog category ID right here. We have this category ID, but we don't have right here. If we fix this issue right here, what will happen? Any guesses, guys? We will move forward, and now in that case we are going to encounter an issue right here. Okay, so just a guess, sorry, not a guess, I just wanted to let you know so that you can understand your code better. So what can we do right here? It is really simple, guys. If someone wants to manipulate or if someone tries to manipulate the record, because you cannot rely on any specific user, they can do whatever they like. So what you need to do is you need to code better. Okay, so for that I'm going to find this blog first right here. Okay, and then I'm going to put my condition, if $blog, then you have to find this category, you have to find this tag, and you have to return this view. Okay, and let's align this. Okay, so everything is clear, I hope, until right here. Okay, so let's say in any case we are unable to find that specific blog. What we can do is else abort 404. We can also use try and catch, but for now we can simply use abort. That's it. Okay, let's try to do the refresh, and everything is working like a charm. Now let's say someone tries to manipulate with the records ID, he is going to see a 404. Okay, now one more thing. Now let's move to the second condition that we need to fix right here is, let's say these two blogs 11 and 12 are related to this specific user. One of them is approved and one of them is not right here. Okay, oh sorry I just went in Urdu, sorry guys. Okay, so we this specific user has two records. Let's move forward and let me show you another error. It's not an error, but it's a bug, and we are going to fix it. Okay, so let's say I'm accessing my 11th blog which is not approved. Now let's say if I want to access any of these blogs, what will happen? Let's see. So let's try to access one. Okay, so we are able to access that specific blog which is related to some other user, and in this case this blog is related to admin, so we shouldn't be able to do this. Okay guys, so let's fix this with a simple logic just right here. Okay, so we are going to restrict it. If you didn't got my point right here, basically guys, I am logged in with a simple user simple user credentials, and let's say if a user tries to access any other specific user blog, or let's say the admin blog, he can simply do that with the help of this. Okay, and he can manipulate the records right here. Okay, because it is published, and let's say if I'm going to make a change right here and I'm going to update, it is going to update. Okay, so we are going to restrict this. Okay, now I hope you guys got the point. So for that, it is really simple, guys. So let's put and okay, so if $blog and $blog ID, blog user underscore ID equals to auth user ID, then what you need to do is you need to show this specific blog, or else you need to show about 404. Okay, so now let's do a refresh here and you can see the magic. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. Now I hope this makes sense. Because it's a normal user, he shouldn't be able to see any other specific user related blog or the admin related blog. Okay, now let's say if someone tries to manipulate the ID right here, he's going to see 404, and let's say if in any case a normal user tries to access any other user related blog, let's say one, or let's say the admin user as well, he is going to see 404. He will only be able to see his own blogs. Okay guys, so I hope this makes sense now. For the admin part, this method is complete right here, and we have successfully implemented it, and we have tested this right here. But now we need to change it somewhere else for the admin dashboard as well. So let's do that. But in this case, we are not going to implement something from this condition. Why? Let me show you. First of all, let's change this to view, because this time we are returning a view for the admin dashboard. So let's say backend. Yeah, so everything remains the same, and we are going to change our condition. Why? Let me show you with an example. Awaiting approval, and here first of all we are going to see every specific user related blogs which are in the awaiting list. Okay, now let's say if I want to access this 11th record which is related to test user and not me, these blogs are related to me because I have only 2 users. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, so if I want to access this, I won't be able to. Why? Because of this second condition. And in our case, admin can access every specific user any blog he wants to, and he can make changes to anything, like anything on the website, because this is the super admin, guys. He has the permission and he can access any specific user related blogs. So just removing that, the second condition which we implemented for the user, we will be able to see the blogs and we will be able to make some changes right here. Okay, that we just saw. So now everything is working perfectly fine for this method right here. This was important so that let's say if a certain blogs does not exist, I will access Firefox, because right here I am accessing admin dashboard. So let's click this and let's try the second condition, 1 2 3 something, and 404 not found. So for the admin dashboard, we just need to check for the blog if it exists or not. If yes, admin can see it no matter what. Okay, and for the user section, user will only be able to see his own blogs right here. So I hope this makes sense, and I know we may have some issues right here and there as well, but I am here and we are going to fix them slowly. Okay, just when basically in this case we don't have any SEO guy, okay, who is going to do SEO. So we are the SEO person as well, so we need to do that. So we can do that, no problem. And if you find any sort of bug, you can tell me and we will fix it. Okay, so that's it from this functionality, and I hope you guys like this. If you liked it, please like, subscribe and share. Thank you, take care, and yes guys, be ready for the next video. Okay, because in the next video we are going to implement the approve blog functionality, and you can try it on your own as well. Just give it a try, okay, or else we are going to implement it in the next video.